Good morning, welcome to Headline Focus, here live on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. It is Thursday, the 21st of December 2017. Let's have a look at what's making the headlines. So to start off with, not in the news, in the headlines, in the newspapers, but it's coming through on the international news feed. Something that's happening in Australia. Australian police have arrested 2 people after a car collided with a number of pedestrians in Melbourne. The state ambulance service say 13 people have been taken to hospital and at least 2 others are being treated at the scene. The Australian police have said this was a deliberate act. That's the key line coming through in the news feeds at the moment. This happened on Flinders Street, which is a busy junction in the centre of the city. Check out the latest international news feeds if you really want the latest on what's going on there. Next up, post-Brexit, banks' access for the European financial institutions. Now, the Bank of England has moved to allow the European-based investment banks access to the UK's financial system after Brexit. So effectively what that means is the Bank of England has said business as normal for European institutions. You can come, have access and do everything you want as you did do before Brexit, just like normal. We're keeping the status quo. We are offering that to you as part of post-Brexit, the post-Brexit vision. So financial centres will be given access to the City of London in particular, through an EU passport, which the Bank of England is fully supporting. Now, why is this important? Well, you remember how the European Union negotiator Michel Barnier has talked about how the UK will not have access to the EU through passporting after Brexit, or at least says that is the position in the negotiations. Effectively, the Bank of England have offered it unilaterally to the EU, and it's now up to the EU to decide whether they're going to offer it back to UK institutions with access to the EU or not. That's going to be an interesting story probably coming through in the new year. Let's look and focus though at the main story today, and as you can see in the papers, it was pretty much all over them today. Damian Green, the First Secretary, has resigned. Now, when I say resigned, he was basically told to resign by Theresa May. This is following a probe that found that he made inaccurate and misleading comments over pornographic material found on his work computer. As you can see, we've got The Guardian here and The Mirror. The Prime Minister's advisor on ministerial interests also said the lack of candour by Damian Green amounted to 2 breaches of the ministerial code. The Guardian says the exit is a personal blow for Theresa May, as Damian Green and Theresa May are personal friends. They were university friends and indeed entered Parliament together in 1997. The Mirror then saying Theresa May had a deep regret for asking Damian Green to resign, but she felt the conduct fell short of the high standards the public demanded of their ministers. The PM will be forced now into a cabinet reshuffle, of course. Now, there's no requirement for the Prime Minister to have a deputy. Damian Green was effectively her deputy Prime Minister. However, she will have to fill the post that he held, particularly Cabinet Office Minister and Chairman of several committees of government. One more story then coming through. Again, this is to do with the UK and future post-Brexit deals. The UK is demanding total secrecy for trade talks with the US. This is an exclusive from the newspaper, as you can see. The Department for International Trade, which is of course led by Liam Fox, has been quietly opening preliminary discussions with a team of American officials. And this is just coming through. And documents seen by the says that nothing can be released in terms of the substance of these talks for 4 years after the actual talks are concluded, unless both sides waive the secrecy rule. The is saying this has caused some alarm, particularly over that the secrecy of these talks could lead to Britain accepting inferior standards, particularly animal welfare, food safety, trade talks to do with the NHS, undermining the NHS, and also the element of parliamentary scrutiny. Can Parliament really scrutinise trade talks when you can't actually know the substance of what's being talked about? That's going to be, again, one for the new year, I suspect. That's pretty much it for today. You're up to date. Don't forget you can find all the latest on what we're doing here on Core Politics on our Facebook page and Twitter right here. But from me and all the team here at Core London, have a fantastic Thursday.